What's going on, guys? It's Tom and Rich here for another. This is the first time we've done digital marketing teardowns in a long time, but super excited to do this one because today we are going to be looking at Mindvalley. And Rich, it's fair to say Rich is the expert at Mindvalley, being a long time advocate and Mindvalley customer. But these guys really do have a phenomenal marketing strategy in place that no matter what industry you are in, there is a ton that can be learned from the way Mindvalley approach their marketing strategy. It is complete genius. And actually, even though some of what we're showing might seem relatively complex as we're going through it, a lot of the beauty here in what they do is in the simplicity. And you will start to see that the further we get into this. So Rich, I'll hand over to you, my friend, to do a little kind of spiel on Mindvalley and their strategy overall.
Beautiful, mate. Awesome. So guys, this is going to be like severe. So buckle up, sit down, get a drink, get ready, because this is going to be a real deep dive. If you feel overwhelmed or confused at any one point, this is good. Do not worry. You can always watch the recording back, and you don't need to learn everything that we're about to talk about. Just take one thing from this. And if you take just one thing from this and action it, oh my gosh, over the long term, this could make a humongous difference to the effectiveness of your business. So with all that said, I hope you're ready. Let's dive straight in. So Tom, if we could share my screen first, please, so we can kick it off. Actually, you know what? No, actually, I think I like that page. Let's stick with this one first, actually. So before we do, right, Mindvalley, if you've never heard of them, you must have just landed from the planet Mars and accomplished Elon Musk's mission. So in that saying, okay, basically Mindvalley are trying to reinvent the future of education. So, you know, a lot of the things we get taught in school, like maths, English, geography, doesn't have so much real world application. What Mindvalley are looking to doing is to take all of the things that they believe are far more important in life, like genuine life lessons, and allow that to become accessible for everyone on the planet. So they are literally trying to reinvent the way education is done. This is a humongous goal, and I have been a raving fan now for the last 3 years. So not just, I love the products, but what they do from a marketing perspective is crazy, and you're about to see why. So now that you have a bit of a premise of what this is actually all about, an online education company, but on steroids, now we can see that. Can we now share my screen, Tom?
For sure.
Let me know when you can see my screen, because I can't see you now.
You've got your YouTube open, my friend.
Sweet, mate. So basically, right, what we've got is, first and foremost, we're going to talk a little bit about how they start acquiring leads, how they educate people, and how they find qualified prospects and get leads at an incredibly cheap price and ready to pretty much buy. Okay, so first things first, let's go back to their YouTube channel. You can see they've got 1.95 million subscribers. This is some fairly good going, just for the record, right? And that's required a lot of exposure. They didn't start this way. They started small. But one of the things that I absolutely love that these guys have done absolutely right is through using YouTube. And bearing in mind, guys, YouTube is owned by Google, and it is the second biggest search engine on the planet, okay? If you're looking for ways of getting targeted traffic, you're going to struggle to do much better, okay? Now, these guys, Mindvalley, have created an absolute abundance of large, high-quality content, and from some of the most influential people on the planet. So Vishen started this by literally just teaching meditation, right? It was literally just someone who'd gone from a corporate career working for Microsoft and done some sales jobs and basically floated around in his late 20s to starting this thing. He started as nothing more than a meditation teacher. Now, this is how Mindvalley began. And as you can see now, over the last Christ knows how many years, it's massively expanded and they are huge. So for the sake of this, let's just take it from where they are right now. Let's pick a video. Let's scroll down, because they have what they call Mindvalley authors. An author is someone who has created a program that lives on Mindvalley. And these authors are usually titans in their industry. These aren't random crackpots they've pulled off a street. These are people with proven track records who are already highly successful. So let's choose one that most people may have already heard of. I think everyone's heard of rapid transformational hypnotherapy, Marissa Peer. So let's use this as an example, okay?
Never heard of her.
No? You've been living on Mars, mate. We need to get that taken care of. This is another plan I bought ages back. Tell you at work, look how expressive I am. Anyway,
I just want to, I just stop you there a second, Rich, because this is a fire hose of information. And I do just want to point out that, you know, whilst Mindvalley, you know, are using these titans in their space who may not be available to everyone, what they have done in that you'll notice here from any of these videos is that the lesson we can take away from it is from a content marketing perspective. Like when we're thinking about like what kind of content is our audience going to be looking for on search engine, on Google, on YouTube, what are they going to be looking for? Obviously, Mindvalley is a self-development, personal development, professional development company. So they have a huge breadth of keywords and topics they can be targeting, like, you know, how can I get instant transformations? How does hypnotherapy work? How can I improve my relationships? All of these kind of things where they will bring on, you know, these guests and interview them. But the key here is that they are just going after what are the kind of topics that our audience are going to be searching for. So if you're wondering how you can apply this to your own business, that is exactly how. Just thinking about what are these things. So like there's an example there, learn to upgrade your energy. So for people that are maybe more spiritual, they believe in like different energy fields, that's something that they might be looking for. Turn your life into a masterpiece, create an extraordinary life. Lots and lots of different topics. But anyway, I'll let you get back to what you were saying there, Rich.
No, mate, cracking ad. I love it. And just to add as well, because there's a lot of these big names in there as well. Some of them get known through Mindvalley. Some are already known by speaking with influential people already and using that. You do realize you can use that as keywords, right? So, for example, if Tony Robbins was to do a course on Mindvalley, I'm not saying it has or it will ever happen, but let's say it did, right? The name is already massively searched, meaning you can literally authority hack. So to bring us back to the context of someone who maybe isn't at this size yet, as Tom's just correctly reined me in, great job, mate. You could easily say, well, find some people in your industry already that are highly successful and do an interview with them, or do what we call authority hacking, content around them and leverage the keyword or their brand name to bring people back to your assets. This is something which is
partly what we're doing with this.
Yeah, effectively, no lies, literally. By the way, that was on purpose. So, you know, you can kind of see how this is all working. Just to give you some extra added context, like I said, it's not a million miles away from you. It's probably not easy to get to this stage and it would take time, but you can start just small by taking just that one golden nugget and already go away and grow your following massively. Now, please note, guys, these guys are focused on growing a following because most of the time when you're putting content out there, if you've just met someone and you pitch them your product, how often do they say yes? Rarely ever, right? It's like, I don't even know you. Why would I? The beauty of content marketing, if done properly, is you meet a stranger, you add value, you engage them, you help answer questions. You're going to see how this all plays out in a minute. Notice this is a playlist, all based around adding value, educating and informing people, bringing them through ready to make a purchase. This is genius. And they do this with everything, okay? And this can be so simple. It doesn't have to be massively complicated. So content marketing, let's go back to the video. So basically, this is a Q&A about what is instant transformational hypnotherapy. So effectively, if someone's ever looked at the course, this was actually used as an ad, by the way. Now, although that, what they do is they then inform, they educate, and they even start to indoctrinate a little bit. So they actually start to use language that the author or Mindvalley use, and they're actually slowly bringing in new words, new distinctions, things for you to latch onto, and that becomes really important very soon. Do not underestimate how powerful that can be as copy, okay? Now, their funnel and how they then take these people who are digesting their content and start to monetize it, you're going to see how crazy simple this is in a minute. Now, let's say I've watched this video and I've gone, wow, that's amazing. By the way, it's only 1 minute 39. And if we go to the end, sign up for a free masterclass or keep digesting more content. Do you see how they're keeping you in their loop? They're continually educating and continually moving you on. Go ahead.
Can we pause here a second, Rich? I just want to, this is a really, really important point and something that I see missing from a lot of content strategies and even websites is there should always be a very, very relevant and specific next step for the user to take. So, you know, to give you an example here, what Mindvalley could have done is to just had a very generic call to action and said, sign up for Mindvalley today, right? That's what most websites and what most marketing does. They'll have this amazing bit of content that's, you know, very niche, gives lots of value, but then they ruin it by having this generic call to action that says, book a call with us today, sign up today, get this today. But it's like, it's not relevant to the piece of content that person has just consumed. So, and Rich will kind of show you more of how this works in a bit, but what they're doing is they're creating a next step, which is a logical next step. So like Rich says, they've just watched this this short YouTube video on instant transformation hypnotherapy. They've now got a kind of upgrade, if you like, to a masterclass where they can sign up to a masterclass on that same topic. So they're not even talking about Mindvalley just yet. They're talking about the piece of content that that person has come on there for. And this is so important. But Rich, I'll let you, sorry, mate, I'll let you carry on.
No worries, mate. Cut in as much as you want. It's great to add. You're adding beautiful parts. So this is literally the last 12 seconds, okay? And I'm going to try and turn the music up. By the way, can you hear my sound? Tell me straight away.
Simplify it.
Yeah. Can you hear that?
Yep.
Cool. Call to actions, literally there, boom. Okay, so then you either stick watching more videos or you take an action. Even better, if we then scroll down into the description, again, not only is it going to be keyword heavy, join our free masterclass, okay? Now, this is the simplicity of their funnel. They educate, they give you all that information, they keep you hooked in the channel, they indoctrinate, they get you basically ready to take the next step. And here's how simple the next step is, right? Let's click here. And get ready for this, okay? We talk about like highly relevant, boom, okay? It's literally designed. Each author has their own designed funnel, so it's highly relevant to exactly what you're digesting in the first place, so the content you're watching. Now, again, this is where we're going to talk a little bit about copy. This isn't just some really simple page where it's like register for our free masterclass, here's a button, okay? This is deep. This is really understanding what's on offer here and what the core offer is being made. Firstly, they start with a nice headline, which is like, boom, okay, join over 1.4 million people. Now, they didn't just say getting this, embracing their true, liberated, free and empowered selves. This is all about becoming free through hypnotherapy, right? So they're literally drilling into the core message behind it. It's not bland, it's relevant and it's specific. And
it's
then,
also one thing I do just want to say there, what I've noticed with these guys, and you mentioned it earlier with the whole indoctrination thing, they are because they have so many different kinds of programs, from, you know, self-development to spiritual development. They really understand the audience they're speaking to, and the copy will change accordingly. Right, so they are speaking the language of their audience for each topic, which is really, really important.
100%. And they're leveraging the authority that most of these carry already. Look at that. Well-renowned therapist Marissa Peer shares the step-by-step process to open yourself to easily attaining the life you desire. Right. So again, they're leveraging a lot of the preset stuff. Now, we could go into a full-blown, like, long version here, so I'm going to skip over the top. Again, what do you call this? Benefits bar or something you call it, Tom? I know you're more into this, but anyway, it's like explaining more.
It's just credibility, really, isn't it? Cool. I mean, that I guess they got 90 minutes masterclass, so yeah, it's a few little
preview, literally. So it's like, you know, if you're still not 100% sure, check this out, watch for yourself. You can have a snippet of what's involved, kind of like hooking you in a bit more, and then they break down what you get in here. This would kind of like be benefit statements. So, you know, experience a live 20-minute rapid transformational therapy session with Marissa. Feel the deep inner transformation, you know, and it's like literally they're nailing it all home.
Can we just go back up there a second, just to touch on this copy as well, because this is another big thing where you'll notice these bullet points, they're not just saying like, you know, how to do how to do deep transformation, how to do hypnotherapy. They're actually speaking into a transformation, and this is key. This is like really, really key, because you know, we always say this on Website Roast Marketing Teardowns, people are not buying your products or your services, they're buying the transformation. And this copy is a perfect example of that. Each of these bullet points, feel the deep inner transformation, feel the deep inner transformation the moment you awaken the next day. Powerful. Discover the 8 beliefs that separate the top performers from everyone else. Like there's a lot of, you know, that's going on here from a copy perspective. Yeah, like tapping into that kind of, I need to know what this is. Like, what are these 8 things that are separating the top performers? But again, this will come down to knowing your audience. Do your audience care about being top performers? What is that thing? What are those things that your audience really want? And how can you tie that into your own copy, your own website? Anyway, sorry, mate.
No, carry on, mate. It's very valuable what you're sharing, and it's totally true. You can see this wasn't written by someone who's just started learning copywriting. This has been written by someone who absolutely gets it, who's already grilled them and said, like, you know, well, who are we aiming at? What's their pain? What's their problem? What's the transformation they want? How are we delivering that? They're asking the right questions to write the right content that's going to get people to take action. That's effectively what good copy does, right? So then it's a case of, well, they're also thinking, well, what are people thinking when they read this page? Well, I've never heard of Marissa. Oh, great. I'm so glad you asked. Guess what's next? About Marissa Peer, the person you're supposed to be listening to. Why can I trust them? Well, guess what? Next line. I've worked with 30 years working with an extensive client list, including royalty, Hollywood actors, Olympic athletes, CEOs, and political leaders, right? So they're already starting to think, what objections might you have? And they're hitting you with the answers to it. So they're literally reading your mind. Okay, this is what I would call like top level, utter at the best use of copywriting and marketing. These guys aren't newbies, they get it. And so
I can't remember which copywriter it was that said it, but it's that, you know, always enter the conversation that's going on in the prospect's mind.
Yeah, everyone says it nowadays.
It's super powerful. And one thing I will just add on that as well is there is a real power in almost admitting your flaws and talking about who you're not for, because we all know, right? We all know when we go onto a website, they're making these bold claims like, we're the best this, we're for everyone. We all have a sense of skepticism, right? We're human. We all are skeptical. When we see that, I definitely feel this. When I see people who are making crazy claims, I do feel skeptical. Whereas if someone's saying, oh, actually, but we're not going to work for these kinds of people, I instantly feel assured, because I then feel, oh, at least they're being honest, right? We just have a sense when people are being honest and when they're kind of exaggerating. So don't be afraid to talk about, actually, we don't work well with these people, but for these people, we get phenomenal results. So if that's you, let's speak. Right, let's move on.
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much, absolutely on point. There's no harm in saying we're not for these people, because guess what? If you're not that kind of person, they like you right now, because you're actually segregating your audience. Another credibility stamp. Then the next part, well, I mean, that's great, that's worked for them, but will that work for me? Well, guess what? Stories on Marissa Peer, testimonials, right? So they're already sort of predicting what's coming up. And I mean, read some of these. It's not like, oh yes, I loved it, I had a great time. No. Marissa Peer has an extraordinary skill at getting people to change. Since she's worked with me, my life and my footballing skills have changed dramatically and for the better.
Can I just say something here as well, because this is something that I've seen quite a lot, actually. A few clients and prospects have been speaking to over the past couple of weeks. Testimonials, we all know testimonials are incredibly powerful, right? The issue I see with a lot of testimonials when it comes to people utilizing them as a marketing asset is they put the full testimonial on their website. For most people, they're just going to skim past it. They're not going to read through it. And what you'll find is that within each testimonial, let's say you've got a testimonial which is, I don't know, like 7 lines long, right? A couple of paragraphs. Within there will be one gold nugget phrase, right? These guys changed my life, or my revenue has doubled, or I've lost 10 stone in the past 2 weeks. Like whatever that transformation is, there will be a tiny little snippet, and you'll see this is exactly what they've done. They've pulled out that golden nugget transformation snippet, because people don't care about, oh, I started using Mindvalley 2 weeks ago, blah 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 blah. They just care about, well, what kind of transformation have these people got?
Why is your life
better? To the root of the issue. Marissa has an extraordinary skill with people. Like, they're pulling out those things, and then they're giving people the ability to read more if they want to. So something I want to touch on there, because I think it's a huge missed opportunity. Like, you know, I've seen testimonials where they're so long, I would just skim past it. But then at the bottom, there's this incredible line that says, you know, buy this now. If you don't, you'll regret it for the rest of your life. It's like, use that, take that snippet out and just put it on the header of your website. You know, it's so powerful.
Literally.
And so many companies have these amazing testimonials and they don't get used.
Totally.
So yeah, definitely worth looking at.
Something else is they're actually making this written so that even if you don't know who these people are, so even if you were cold, they're warming you up as you go through the page. Have you noticed that? Yeah. This isn't. They're even assuming that even after such amazing content and so much awesome stuff, they're still assuming you're skeptical, and then they're hitting you with all of this. It's like blows my mind, mate. It's like, you know, this is the pinnacle of like marketing genius. So then who's the other person involved? Well, Vishen, just in case it's the first time you've hit their page and you had no idea who he was, they're adding a bit about him. And then what people say, it carries on, you get more. But it's not like top level stuff. It's all stuff that if you read it, you're like, okay, I'm quite confident about this thing now. And if you're doubting this, guys, then I'm either an absolute softie and an easy sell, or this stuff is amazing, because I've bought God knows how many of their programs. I can assure you of that, right? And then basically, here's how they take things to the next possible level, or the next obvious level of this sort of like relationship that you are building. Because believe it or not, whether you like it or not, you are building a relationship with the people that tune in. So the next thing is, okay, cool. One more thing again, transform self-doubt into self-confidence. Love that. Short, simple. It's not long. It's to the point. You get it. Plus added benefit. A little bit of scarcity, playing for a limited time only. That's not true. But you know what? Again, it gets people to take action, because unfortunately, if we think something's going to be around forever, we procrastinate, we put it off. There needs to be something that makes someone say, why now? That would do that for me. And then they make it seamless for you. They don't make it difficult for you to plug in, right? Select date. I'll watch it now. Boom. You're like straight in. No, I'll watch it later today. Okay, or let's say Tuesday. Let's go for Tuesday the 4th. You know what? First day back from work, come home in the evening, but they probably won't have many times. Oh, wait. Yes, they do. Every single hour of the day. 8 o'clock works well for me. Okay, well, unfortunately, I've already watched it, and that might be a giveaway, but you know what? Okay, I'll register. Let's do it. And now, just to make sure,
for a Mindvalley Masterclass every year, over 3 million people sign up for these masterclasses, the biggest of its kind on the web. And the reason is because Mindvalley brings you some of the greatest teachers in the world. And these masterclass, they supply you with cutting-edge strategies, techniques that can be applied in your life right now, today, to yield amazing results.
Lost your sound, Rich.
I can't
purposely, mate.
You on this.
Oh.
Know when exactly to show up.
Okay, so I think you get the point there, right? We're just hammering on to the point of make sure you don't miss out, make sure you do this. And then if people aren't watching video, or they pause, or they just get lost, you'll get an email with this as well. Plus, you'll get, congratulations, reassurance, you're done. New to Mindvalley, that's fine. Again, you know, this is making sure you don't get lost. You can actually click here and it shows you a video of how to make sure you don't miss out on any emails. So they've nailed you just in case email, or, you know, you're using, say, Gmail, your email won't get lost. They're showing you how to make sure you keep it. You can add it directly to your calendar, choose which one you've got, making sure you don't miss it. They even have a chatbot functionality. Then you've got even get reminders on Facebook Messenger. So this is clever, right? You can literally, this is genius, mate. Receive reminders for your masterclass on Facebook Messenger. Click the button and type live to get your reminders and exclusive content. So they're adding a benefit reason for why you should do this, driving people to do that. And then you're on chatbot marketing as well as a bonus, right? So they're making sure they've got you and got the ability to keep connecting with you. You know, then they're not letting you go. Even if you miss the webinar, they'll keep reminding you on Facebook Messenger, oh, we think you missed this. Here's the link to watch the replay. And you're going to get loads of emails. Plus, you'll get value-driven emails every day and every week. You get Mindvalley Weekly, Mindvalley Day. They're doing everything they can to make sure they're top of mind and they're delivering value, okay? Then let's connect on Instagram. Well, let's look at Vision's Instagram, right? You can see that they're even utilizing this, but more on that in a moment, okay? So after that, you can even start leaving comments. I mean, wow, 6,242 comments, not bad at all. But anyway, so now you get the gist of it. I'd now receive an email and I would then watch the actual masterclass. I wonder if I can actually... Tom, did you want to break down the segments of that now, or did you want to just like leave that for people? Check it out.
Yeah, we won't go into all of that now. Just conscious of time because there's a lot of other things to cover here. Just a couple of points to expand on this page, though. So, like, this is what they were doing there with this video is just kind of building up the excitement before people go onto it, because especially where you're not watching something now. Let's say, for example, you know, you're in an industry where you're booking calls with people. Life gets in the way. Yep. Right. So if people don't feel like they need to be on that call, they will find a reason not to be, because they'll get busy, life will get in the way, and then that momentum dies. This is a way of keeping that momentum up. And the follow-up sequence is also really, really important. Just by having a series of emails that goes out, engages people in that interim period before the call, can significantly increase the amount of or decrease the amount of no-show rates. So if you're getting people who are canceling their calls last minute or aren't turning up, just having those email sequences, having a video on the thank you page, and adding this personalized touch, because we feel bad about canceling someone if it feels like, you know, we've got more of a personal connection. So if you were to, you know, whether it be a video from, you know, one of the sales team, whether it be you as the founder on the video saying, thank you so much for booking your call. Really excited. Here's what you're going to get out of this call. I'm going to make sure that this call is as valuable for you as possible. Here's a couple of things that I need you to do before our call. And you're really kind of signposting these next steps. So that person now will feel more obliged to turn up to that call. There's a lot of these things. And again, like Mindvalley would have tested this, and we've seen this ourselves, where just by implementing some of these steps, you can significantly increase the results you're getting. And it's an area where so many businesses are leaving money on the table, where they invest all this money into like a paid advertising campaign. But if the back end of that funnel isn't set up properly, how can you expect to get the returns you want? Because it's all well and good getting loads of leads into the business, but then if you don't have a system in place to actually nurture, to follow up, to engage those leads, to get them primed, to get them excited, then it's kind of all for nothing, really, right? You're wait, you know, you could be doubling, if not tripling, the actual returns you get from the back end of your ad just by sorting out some of those back end automations and making sure that you have these steps in place. But yeah, to your point, Rich, I think what we'll do now is why
do we do this, right? Mm-hmm. Guys, if you're watching this, okay, and you want to see how well they structure their webinars, and by the way, I highly recommend that you actually go ahead and check out one of their masterclasses, because they're done in a structured way where they have all of the elements needed that they know to inform you, to educate you, and to then close you, all in a structured format. And I can tell you now, these things are scripted out. I would highly recommend you go and check out and watch one for yourself and look at it through the eyes of a potential client, because you'll learn an awful lot about marketing, about messaging, about educating, and also about how to actually close a sale by literally just watching one and modeling it. Okay, I say that lightly because we don't have time to spend 90 minutes breaking one down for you, but go ahead and check one out and have a look for yourself. I mean, probably going to be a lot of use to you. How's that, Tom? Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, no, I think that sounds good, mate.
That's a good one as well. So yeah, other than that, just to hammer the point home from earlier when I said about each of them have their own masterclasses and they have their own page. You'll see they're all uniquely different. This is not the same as the other one we just signed up for. It's all different. Now, here's the thing, okay? I just want to hammer one more thing home. So when they do this through YouTube, okay, they're very clever in what they do. Now, I don't know if any of you have done paid marketing before, but when you do paid marketing, okay, you can target cold, warm, or hot traffic, okay? Cold is they've never met you. They have no need to be there at all. And so you're having to start the relationship from scratch. Warm would be, okay, I kind of know this thing here. I might have a problem, but I don't know what to do about it. Warm is, okay, I know you. I have a real issue here. I need to solve it like right now. Just show me an option to take and I'll take it. These guys here can target cold based on just keywords, show you a lot of content, okay? But here's where it gets super interesting. Using Google Ads, okay? These guys can get significantly cheap leads because they use the content to build the relationship. They use the content to start the conversation. They use the content to build all of the needs up. And this is where it gets madness, okay? Rather than trying to get Google to go out and find customers by using things like here, for example, hypnotherapy keywords, stuff like that, and then potentially trying to find people that way, they can actually take or show an ad to all of the people who have watched this content. Okay, now understand how powerful that is. You've already shown an interest. You've already been educated. You already know both people on the screen. And now we're going to show you an ad. Do you not think that's going to convert better than a random keyword where you're just targeting for, say, hypnotherapy? This means that they can use the audience they're getting to get stupidly high conversion rates to the webinar, which will eventually turn them into a buying customer. And they can do it all by doing just retargeting. And retargeting is like 3 times cheaper, at least, than normal running of ads. So by doing all of this correctly is awesome. Now, are they constrained to just YouTube? I can tell you they're not, because these guys have absolutely nailed it. And they even do Instagram ads and Facebook ads, okay? Now, Tom, did you want to run through a tiny bit about the Facebook ads library and how they cleverly do cross-platform retargeting to hit people on other platforms away from YouTube, meaning they're always top of mind and they're always being seen?
Yeah, for sure, mate. So I will share my screen, and yeah, just to kind of emphasize on what Rich was just saying there. Like, I think this is such an important point in that a lot of people, when they think of content marketing, whether it be doing YouTube videos, whether it just be putting posts on social media, a lot of people kind of measure that in, you know,
likes and comments,
the clicks or the likes, or even, you know, arguably this is better, but measuring the leads and sales it gets from it. However, the leads and sales don't always have to come from that post, because like Rich was just saying, what content marketing can actually do is it provides you data. And if you are using retargeting pixels on your website, right, and you are doing this properly with YouTube, for example, using the Google Ads platform, you can retarget people who have watched specific YouTube videos. If you have blogs on your website, through things like Google and Facebook retargeting, you can retarget people who have visited specific blogs, specific content on your website. So that content basically acts as a filtering mechanism. So you can send the relevant people the relevant message at the right time, right? When they've interacted with a certain piece of content. And it's so powerful. And I'm just going to show you an example here before we get into the Facebook ad library of some of their SEO. So you see here, I mean, this is never exact data, but these guys are getting roughly, you know, 400,000 organic visitors to their website a month, right? So they get a huge amount of organic traffic. And if we actually look at some of the keywords that they're ranking for, you'll notice a lot of these are actually blogs, right? 7 chakras, Portuguese. What else have they got? What is the lowest IQ ever, right? So there's all of these things where it's like, what are these kind of things that our audience might be searching for? What other blogs are they? How to Cure Myself, right? They're ranking position 1 for that. So all of these blogs. And if we go onto one of these, The great thing about this, creating this as a piece of content, they're ranking #1 on this on Google, how to cure myself, right? Flipping incredible article to be ranking for, particularly for these guys. They've got a blog, really value-driven blog. They're not promoting Mindvalley. They're not saying, hey, come buy Mindvalley and find out. They're giving all these self-healing techniques. You know, it's a really value-driven blog. But then towards the end of it, there's a masterclass. They're driving people towards a relevant masterclass. So like we were talking about earlier, it's the same thing. This is where I'm hoping by now the kind of simplicity is starting to settle in. Like, doesn't matter where this is, whether it be their social media posts, whether it be their blog posts, whether it be their YouTube videos, they are all funneling people into a relevant next step. So based on what this person's looking at, they're looking at self-healing. So it makes sense to send them into an energy medicine masterclass where they can learn more about how to heal themselves. That then goes into a paid program, which is hosted by Mindvalley, and that then brings them into the Mindvalley world. So again, I just want to bring it back to this point where what they're not doing is they're not saying, hey, here's a piece of content on self-healing and hey, sign up for Mindvalley today. Because there's no context. Like, why would I sign up for Mindvalley when I don't know what I don't even know anything about you. I just want to know how to heal myself. So they are giving the user in each and every interaction, whether that interaction happened on YouTube, whether that interaction happened on a blog, whether it happened on social media, they're giving a relevant next step based on that piece of content. Now, you might not always be able to do this. Again, Mindvalley is a huge company. They've probably got a lot of people working in their content team to be able to make this happen. But to give you an example here of how we did this recently, there's a blog we've recently started ranking on page 1 for customer avatar, or like creating a customer avatar. And notice we were getting like thousands of visitors a month from Google to this blog, but none of them were converting. Why? Because I didn't have a relevant call to action on our blog. So one of the things we did is actually created, specifically because we saw we were getting all this traffic, created a customer avatar worksheet, have that as a call to action on the blog. So we tell people how to create it. We then say, hey, if you want to take the next step, download your free customer avatar worksheet today. We are now getting around 8 to 10 leads a day from that blog, organically from Google. And this is exactly what Mindvalley are doing. They're giving that relevant piece of content. And then from there, you have email nurture sequence where you're engaging them, you're building the relationship, and you're then giving them that next step from there. So it's a really powerful strategy. So I then just want to show you as well, just on the advertising part, like Rich was touching on in terms of retargeting, this is how this can look. Right, so this is just an example of a few display ads. So display ads are where they basically go out to Google's publisher network. So this can be like blog sites, it can be news publications. So you've probably seen like on news sites where you have like ads that just appear like in the middle of the article. A lot of those ads are just very annoying because they're just random people advertising cold traffic, which in my opinion doesn't work well with display advertising. When it's retargeting, however, this can be very powerful. Right, so let's say I'd just been on Mindvalley reading about brain fog, and then I've read that article, got tons of value from it. I then get retargeted a day later with this ad. Right, I see this on the news site I'm on. Mental fog affecting work. Yeah, how did you know? Right, they know because I've been onto their blog and they're now retargeting me with a very specific message, giving me a very specific call to action. Again, like, forgetful no more. I don't know what what they're retargeting here, but I would imagine maybe they've got a piece of content that's to do with memory. Maybe it's
it is, mate. Video. That's Jim Quick. That's speed reading, and it's memory retention. Yeah.
So YouTube video, blog. There's probably something about memory retention, and they're now retargeting with a very specific ad. So you can start to see the power in this and the power of retargeting, and how content isn't just something there. Sometimes it will generate you a lot of leads up front, but sometimes it can be used for data purposes to build those retargeting audiences that you can then advertise. And like Rich was saying, you'll get much cheaper cost per conversions because you're now advertising to people who have already expressed an interest, and you're not just giving them a generic message saying, hey, sign up for Mindvalley. You're giving them the right, this is what I meant earlier, the right message at the right time. You know what this person's interested in. You're giving them a very specific, relevant and contextual message based on
simply, never have to convince ever again.
Yeah, exactly. And the nice thing about this, you know, because a lot of people are, oh, I don't like marketing, it's pushy and salesy. This is beautiful because all you're doing is you're amplifying that customer journey. You're giving people what they want. You're not just shoving random stuff in their face. You are going based on you're putting the content out there. So you're potentially putting all of these fishing lines out there, like in this huge ocean, and then you're just giving people what they want. You're giving them a next step to take with your company. It's such a powerful strategy.
And there's no push. It's all pull. Yeah. It's all pulling. It's just like, hey, you saw this earlier. Guess what? We got you covered. Check this out. And I'll tell you now, the amount of those ads I've clicked is getting stupid. It's like every time it's like, here's where it gets even better, right? I've actually watched webinars and I've gone, not right now. And 20 minutes later, I've been going through my Facebook feed and I've just seen this like news article and I've gone, what the hell's this? And then literally scrolling down the news article, boom, that banner appears. And I'm like, what is it? And it kicks you back to the sales page. And this time it's like, oh, but they're allowing you to do it in 3 installments. Oh, but you know what? They're offering a 10% discount right now. Oh, but if I sign up now, I get 6 live sessions worth $5,000. Oh, and then you take the action. And that will have cost them 2 cents. I reckon, give or take. And so just for having that extra thing in play, they made like what, $400. How's that for a return on investment, people?
Yeah, absolutely. And then you'll see here, this is going to be more top of the funnel content here that they're running on Facebook, but they've got quiz, right? So this is just another one of those fishing lines they're putting out there. What is your fitness archetype? If I've clicked on this to take the quiz, and people love quizzes because they can learn about themselves and it helps them reaffirm their identity, all of that. We won't go into that from a psychological perspective, but quizzes, especially any quiz that allows someone to self-identify or to reaffirm their identity is huge. But anyway, so this is just a way of bringing those people in and getting them to raise their hand and say, yes, I'm interested in fitness. Right. So once they've been on this page, they will probably have an upsell that you go to. But even if I don't, take that next step, then they can then retarget me with very, very specific articles, blogs to bring them back into their world until I'm ready to make that next step. Well,
here's the thing, Tom, right? As soon as you hit this page now and you're there 30 seconds, you're already going to get retargeted anyway. Hey, I think you missed this quiz. Now, click start quiz for me a minute. And they're using a very awesome strategy, which has been well used. Now, here's where it gets cool. If he fills out this form, which is stupidly painless, okay, at the very end, what do you really think they're going to do? I can tell you in advance, before he gets to the end, it's going to say, awesome, receive your results in an email direct in the next few minutes, okay? They're going to ask you for a name and email. And now, let me tell you something. When you've emotionally and time invested 5 minutes to go through this, you're not going to not enter your email because you're going to be like, well, of course I want the results, continue to see my results, type C. What does that mean? Well, I've got to enter my email to find out. It's it's very clever because even by saying like type C, you now want to know what is type C. And even here, like leave your email here to unlock your #1 fitness blocker. Yeah. Like it's very, very clever. And it's really kind of, it's not just like putting your email address so we can send you results. It's kind of like really teasing it out of you and giving you a reason, right? Giving you a really like valuable reason. And you can see they've got all this blurred out stuff here, like your unique results. So it feels very tailored. It's very, very, very clever. And again, like coming onto their email list, this is where they will then be sending, I would imagine that these guys have, some form of advanced tagging within their CRM where they can tag me now as this person's interested in fitness. So I'm now not going to be bombarded with random emails about crap I don't care about. They can send me emails about stuff that I care about. So for any businesses out there, if you work with, several different types of customers or different types of businesses,
this can be extremely valuable. And having a CRM that allows tagging is really important, because that's a way to make sure that every interaction you have with your customer is or potential customers is as value driven and is as relevant as possible. Because the moment you start becoming irrelevant in the eyes of your prospects, you're going to be forgotten about. They're going to stop opening the emails. And this is why a lot of email open rates are so low, because the messaging's not resonating with that person's specific needs. But again, I just want to, I feel like, you know, there is a lot here. There is a lot to take in. And I think the main takeaway that I really just want to get across to anybody watching this right now is really just to when you're putting your content out there, just to think about it from a customer journey perspective. Like, how can I firstly, like Rich said, like, they're pulling, not pushing. They're not going out there and saying, hey, buy this amazing thing, or we're the best at this, we're the best at that. They're putting content out. It's like a fishing line. They're putting a bait on a fishing line for what people want. They're putting out all of these different fishing line with all of these different baits for all of the different types of fish, right? And they're getting those fish to buy all of these different types of fish, and they can then give them that next step. There's constantly a next step. They're not saying buy Mindvalley now. It's like, oh, since you read this article on this, how about taking a masterclass in this? Now that you've taken a masterclass, why don't you buy this course? And it's all part of Mindvalley, and that's where you start to learn about Mindvalley. And again, this can be applied to any business, right? If you are, let's say you're an accountant, right? Putting out content on like, you know, how to file my year-end accounts. Create a piece of content around that, and then maybe have a checklist, a 10-step checklist to filing your year-end accounts. Get them onto your email list, and then nurture those people, and then offer them a call, right? Things like this are so powerful. Or another thing an accountant could do, what do I need to be aware of when starting a new business? Again, having a checklist, a new business startup checklist, and then maybe offering a service, right, where your you know, company formation services. Whatever business you are in, you will be able to apply this. I've yet to see a business where you cannot apply this model, other than e-commerce. But even in the e-commerce space, you can use this through a blog strategy. If you're selling, I don't know, like, let's say you're selling
aloe vera cream, mate.
Aloe vera cream, yeah. Like people who use aloe vera cream, what is it, like a skincare thing, right?
Skincare, I don't know. So you got spots, maybe you've got dry skin, maybe
what are the causes of acne? That's a piece of content, right? YouTube video, blogs, that stuff where you can bring people into your world, give them something of value, and then, you know, introduce them to the process.
100%. It's like, and here's the real joke here, guys. This isn't how good are you at sales. This is how well do you understand people and needs. Absolutely.
Your people, more specifically. How well do you understand your people, your audience, your customers?
A doctor isn't a salesperson. A doctor just knows to listen, what's the problem, and just give you something that's going to solve it. And reality is that's exactly what you're doing here. You can suck at sales and crush it in this game if you just know and understand who it is you're trying to help, because you won't even have to ask for a sale. They'll buy. They'll just say, here's my credit card, give me what you've got. That's the ultimate outcome. And that's what we're aiming to achieve through all of the work that's taking place here. It's just they've crystallized it down into very specific routes that people can take from all kinds of different places. And they all lead to the end goal, which is the bullseye. And that really is it. You just need to know what is the end goal, where, and then just work back out. End goal is here. Okay, what would it take for someone to buy that if need this? Okay, what would it take for someone to actually even pay attention to me if need this? What would it take for them to actually be able to find me this? Boom. That's it.
Yeah. Exactly. And again, I just want to say here as well, like, as we're coming to the end of this and we're going to start wrapping this up, like, full transparency, this is exactly what we are doing right now. Right, we are, like Rich was talking about earlier with authority hacking, we know that a lot of people are interested in Mindvalley. A lot of people are interested in Mindvalley's marketing because they do have phenomenal marketing. So
and they've got a lot of business owners involved and entrepreneurs.
Exactly. So it's a way of us tagging onto that, giving value, giving people some helpful things, putting out those fishing lines. And then again, we have a next step, which is for us to audit your website for you and your marketing campaigns. And this is exactly what we do, right? So if you are watching this now and you're feeling very overwhelmed, you know this stuff makes sense, but you don't know the steps to take, or you just want some advice from an outside perspective on your business, or some things you can do differently, if you head over to roastmywebsite.co, you'll be able to book a personalized video audit. So we'll shoot you a 10 to 15 minute video screen share going through your website, going through your marketing content, and just showing you how you can do something very similar to this, what Mindvalley are doing, to get you more customers, more leads, and ultimately more sales in your business on autopilot. So again, that's an offer that's there. If you head over to roastmywebsite.co, or you leave a comment on this video, send me a DM directly, we can definitely hook you up.
And at the same time, when you do register for the website review, which to be honest, it's free, it's not costing you nothing. It's just our way of being able to demonstrate that actually we can help you in your business before any sort of transaction takes place. If you'd like to be featured on our premium service, Website Roast Wednesday, you can also drop us a message or a comment down below, and we will look to review your website on a Wednesday and also put you under the spotlight so other people can be aware of you. So we're basically doing everything we possibly can here to increase leads and sales in your business. If you can think of anything else, feel free to fire it our way.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we love a good challenge, and we really want to make a lot of these as interactive as possible as well. So yeah, if anyone's got any ideas, or if there's any companies that you would like us to cover in a future marketing teardown, we're going to be doing these once a month at the moment. So we're going to be doing website roast every week. So that's every Wednesday. Marketing teardowns, we're going to do one of them a month. And this is where it's really going to be a kind of deep dive into companies who have had a lot of success from their marketing campaigns, and where we're doing pretty much what we did today and just dissecting them and showing you some of the things that you can learn and how you can apply them into your own business to get, phenomenal results from your marketing. So
basically, model what works and apply it yourself. We'll do the work for you. Just apply it. And if you don't want to do it, guess what?
Exactly. So yeah, we'll wrap that one up there for today. Again, if you do want your website audited, head over to roastmywebsite.co, and you can book onto your free website marketing review today. And we will see you guys back on Wednesday for another Website Roast Wednesday.
Beautiful job. See you on Wednesday, people.